This is the new Rojo Refine 900, and it may be the most revolutionary red light therapy panel I've reviewed in many years. This is a review that covers a lot of new features we haven't seen before in the red light therapy space. You need to stick around, watch this whole thing, because some of the changes here are quite amazing. What do we need to know about the Refine 900? Well, first up, I'm affiliated with the company. That means if you use discount code Alex, you're gonna save. I'm also going to get a commission. Now, this is the new second generation panel from a company based in Australia and New Zealand. This version has a lot of changes, not just with the panel, but with the company itself. They're now officially referred to as Rojo instead of Rojo. They now have offices in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. They also have warehouses in those three countries, plus America, plus France, meaning they're shipping internationally at some great prices. And this is their new second generation Refine series. Refine because they have improved their red light therapy panel, but they're also helping you, the end user, refine their health, improve their health. And they do this through a bunch of new features and technologies, including their new smart modes. It's something that I personally have wanted to see in red light therapy panels for years now. And it's finally here. So there is a lot to unpack. So first up, let's run through these key changes. The Rojo Refine is the latest panel to include a touchscreen, but this touchscreen is quite unique. Rojo have designed this touchscreen from the ground up. They've also designed an application that ties in with this touchscreen. Now, I know if you've seen my videos on other red light therapy panels, touchscreens aren't that new, nor are the apps. However, what's new with the Rojo is the addition of these new smart modes. Not just that, but there's also a preset mode. Let me explain. So Rojo have gone through the research and found what wavelengths work best for various goals. Not just what wavelengths, but what power intensities. Now, I know this is a very complex and somewhat controversial subject. I know I often get asked for dosing protocols and best wavelengths for various goals. And I'm always hesitant to make recommendations because there's so much we don't know. But Rojo have gone out and decided, you know what? This is what we believe is the best for this particular goal. And the cool thing is they've programmed these protocols into the panel. They call these protocols their smart modes. Inflammation, skin repair, muscle recovery, collagen repair, fat loss, sleep, wound healing, nerve, bone and joint, pet mode, and there's also some sleep modes in there. So you can use it to wake up or use it at the end of the day to slowly help you get to sleep. It is all very cool. So what happens is when you select a mode, it'll change the wavelengths that have been emitted, it'll change the intensity, and it will change the time duration. All accessible directly through the panel or on the app. Not only that, you can go in and create your own custom preset modes and save them in the panel as well. But it gets better. You see, the new Rojo Refine includes 5 wavelengths. Nothing extraordinary on its own right. I mean, we now have panels with 7 wavelengths. However, what is quite extraordinary is you can customize the intensity of every single wavelength individually. So for instance, if you want 100% power going to 810, 30% power going to 830, 0% going to 850, 70% going to 630, and 15% going to 660, you can do it. There is no other panel on the market that has this much customization. Typically what we see is the red light wavelengths all grouped together and then the near infrared wavelengths grouped together. Sometimes then we'll see an independent switch for an extra wavelength, such as the platinum LED blue light, but effectively you can't change the ratios within the near infrared or within the red light ranges. So that example I just gave you before, to my knowledge, is only possible with the new Rojo Refine. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities in terms of treatments. Does everyone need this feature? No, of course not. Most people will run all of the wavelengths at full intensity and be done with it. However, we do know that different wavelengths achieve different outcomes in the body and also have different penetration rates. For instance, you may find that you want to do a low intensity 660 on your face with no 630, but you want max 810 to get penetration into the brain without any 850 or 830. You can do that. You can't do it on any other panels. So this is one of the key standout features of the new Rojo Refine. But it's not all. We also have the inclusion of pulsing. So that means those smart modes and your own custom preset modes, you can now change between individual power intensities across 5 wavelengths, treatment duration, and pulsing rate. Now, as for the panel itself, This particular model, the Refine 900, is 36 inches tall, 12 inches across, with 300 LEDs. You can also get smaller or larger panels. I'll put a full link to the Rojo website down below so you can go check it out. These LEDs are dual chip LEDs, meaning that every single lens has either a red or a near infrared chip in it. I'll put a diagram on screen so you can see exactly how these chips are laid out. Finally, another big change is that the Rojo 900 comes bundled with a floor stand. It's included in the box. It's included in the price. Rojo found that most of the people buying this size panel were also buying that floor stand, so they decided to bundle it into the package. All right, so that's enough about the key changes. Let's have a look at how much power and what wavelengths are being emitted from this new panel. Okay, so the new Rojo Refine series has 5 wavelengths. 50% of the energy is split between 630 and 660, and then the remaining 50% is split between 810, 830 and 850. So that means you're getting nearly 17% of energy going to 810 nanometer chips. Remember, there are 600 chips in this panel, so that means 100 chips are 810, which is pretty cool. So let's see what is actually coming off the panel. All right, here you can see a random snapshot. So we have a peak at 630. We have the second peak at 660. Here we have 810. 830 is down there in that little hump, and 850. So yes, we are getting all 5 wavelengths, and they do line up pretty good as well. So what I'll do is just take a bunch of readings so you can see what coverage is like as I move around the panel. So it is a pretty nice blend of light, and there is good coverage. Remember, you're getting light from about 800 through to 870, and then 620 through to about 670. So a good range of wavelengths. Now, as for the power numbers, I had a peak figure of 85 milliwatts over centimeter squared at 6 inches, an average figure of 73 milliwatts, and a total power output of 153 watts. So let's head over to Light Therapy Insiders. We're going to open up the shopping tool and see how these numbers compare. So what we're going to do is filter it by wall panel. Then we're going to look at average irradiance sorted by high to low. And then we can see the Rojo Refine down here in 11th place with 73 milliwatts. So it's important to note that there are 40 panels in here. So this is in the top quarter. And 73 is a very high, respectable number. I mean, just look at some of the panels that it's beating. It's beating the 2023 version of the Biomax 900. It's beating the Infrared Pro Max panel, which is the new panel, which is meant to have 6-watt LEDs. The Rojo one is just 3-watt LEDs, and it's putting out a lot more. It's beating the Mito Light Mito Hacker, which is a great high-powered panel. So sure, it's not industry-leading, but it is still a very good power figure. It's probably more than most people need. When we look at it from a power rating point of view, we can filter by power here, and we're up to 6th place with 153 watts. The reason why it's doing a lot better here is because of its size. The more square the panel design is, the better the power figure is going to be. Now, I also tested the EMF levels, and they were rock bottom, which is great. And the sound reading at 6 inches was 46.5 decibels, which is also good. Okay, so you're probably all wondering, okay, how much is this going to cost? Great power, lots of wavelengths, and some really cool features. It's going to be expensive, right? Well, I'm going to share all of that soon and how you can get 10% off the retail price. Before I do that, I just want to say, if you are enjoying this video, if you found it useful, find it interesting, or you just like me and the channel, can you please scroll down? It'll take you a couple of seconds, hit the like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of reviews like this. It takes me a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of money to put these reviews together. So if you do value them and you want to see more of them, hit the subscribe button and it'll tell me that the world wants to see more of these videos. So I'll keep doing them. Okay, now for the price. Well, the Rojo Refine 900 retails for $1,295 US. I mentioned the discount, and yes, discount code ALEX, ALEX, will save you 10%. That means you can get this panel for $1,165 US. And it gets better. You see, Rojo HQ is down here in Australia and New Zealand, but they have set up warehouses across the world. They have one in America, they have one in the UK, they have a warehouse in France, and they have the warehouses in Australia and New Zealand. And what this means is they ship internationally worldwide. That means wherever you're living in the world, chances are there's a warehouse close by and you can get it shipped to your door free of charge. Also, if you live in any of these regions, the EU, America, Australia, New Zealand, or the UK, you're able to buy through their local website. I'm going to put all the links below so you can go check it out. But pretty much this means you can spend your local currency, whether it's euro, whether it's British pounds, Australian dollars, US dollars. Your panel is going to be shipped from a local warehouse. So it's going to be a quick shipping time with no border duties depending on where you're living. And even better, they have a local customer care team in all of these regions, which is all rather impressive, to be honest. So now that we know the power figures and the price, we can do a value calculation. The value metric comes out to be $7.60. This is how much you're paying for 1 watt of therapeutic red light. Let's head back to the Light Therapy Insider shopping tool to see how this compares. Okay, again, we have filtered for wall panels, and we're going to rank by value. Remember, lower is better. And you can see it's sitting here in 8th place, $7.60. I've always said anything under 10 is really, really good. There are 20 odd panels under 10. The Refine 900 has come in at 8th place. And remember, this is just looking at the price. It doesn't factor in shipping. You can see that there are shipping costs for some of these panels, especially international shipping prices. So overall, it is really good. Now, what about other stands and accessories? Well, there is a vertical and horizontal stand that you can purchase for $475, or the motorized stand for about $790. However, you may not need to buy any stands. Here's why. The Rojo 900 comes included with a door hanging hook, a ratchet pulley system, and all the support cables you need for that. However, it also comes included with a floor boot stand. This is included in the price. It's literally included in the same box as the panel. These stands typically sell for about $100 to $150. So it is a nice addition. Finally, the Rojo Refine comes with a 3-year warranty period, a 60-day returns period, and no restocking fee if it's returned in a like new condition. All right, now for the pros and cons. There are a lot of things I like about this panel. First up, let's look at the panel itself. It is a great width, 12 inches across. It is my kind of go-to standard size these days. Has a carry handle at the back, 300 LEDs, all tied together really nicely, and they're dual chip LEDs, so you're getting really good coverage, and we saw that before. We have 5 wavelengths now, including 17% of energy going to 810 nanometer light, which is great in my opinion. It also comes bundled with a really good manual, great for newcomers to the red light therapy space, and it comes with that free stand. Not everyone's going to use it, but the fact it's there can save you $100 odd if you're buying from a competitor. Plus, it does give you an option. You may decide to hang it for a top half of your body treatment and then lift it off and put it in the floor stand for lower half of the body. Or you may decide to put it in the floor stand. It's got wheels so you could move around depending on what you're trying to treat. But the real advantages are inside the software, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. We're talking about a light panel, and here I am raving about the software. So first up, yes, it's got a touchscreen control panel. Really nice. I love touchscreen control panels. It's just easier to do stuff if designed well, and this one is designed well. You have pulsing in here as well, so you can go through and easily access your pulsing rates through a touchscreen. It's a lot easier than pressing buttons like we see in some other panels. But the fact that we have 5 wavelengths and that they're all on their own independent circuit means you can do a lot of things. You can literally go through and customize how much power you want going to every single individual wavelength. For me, this is massive. I know so many people have wanted a feature like this. We've only ever seen the near infrared and the red light bundled together. Now it's been split down to each wavelength. A lot of people are going to love this feature, especially because you can go in and create your own customized mode, customized preset, customized formula, whatever you want to call it. You can customize the wavelength outputs, you can customize the time, and then you can also customize the pulsing rate. Then you can save that as a preset in here. So every single time you want to come in, you can just load up your preset and away you go. You don't have to re-enter all of those values every single time. This is really, really cool. Let's say, for instance, you find some research that treats a condition that you suffer from. It's got a specific pulsing rate. It has a certain amount of power in 810, a lot of power in 660, but no power in the other wavelengths. You can go in and customize all of that, load it in, execute it, away you go. Really cool. But that's not the only cool thing. The other neat thing is Rojo have gone through and created a dozen or so preset smart modes. Every single mode has a unique blend of light, a specific power output, and a specific time. So depending on what you want to treat, you can literally go through, you can do this directly on the panel or through the app, find the goal that you're looking for, hit start, do your treatment. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do any guessing. You don't even have to program in the wavelengths and the pulsing rate yourself. It's all done directly in the panel. Honestly, this is something I talked about years ago. It's a feature I've wanted to see for a long time, and I know many people have wanted to see this as well. Newcomers are gonna love it. There are some issues with this though, and I will talk about them soon, but for most people, it is a really good starting point when it comes to red light therapy. Now, the other cool thing is the app. The app pretty much does everything that you can do on the panel. However, it's a lot easier to use your phone than a small screen on the side, especially if this is going to be on, I don't know, a horizontal stand, for instance. Now, the other real good advantage with the app is that it's updatable. So if some new research comes out saying that this particular pulsing rate with these wavelengths at this intensity for this duration is really good for this problem, then no doubt they'll be able to load this into the app. You update the app, and then you simply activate that program, and it sends all information to the panel, and away you go. There are lots of possibilities here with this new app, with the way this panel has been designed and their control system. Okay, so we've talked about the panel and the software. The other things I need to mention here are the price and the shipping options. There aren't many red light therapy companies in the world that have warehouses in 5 different locations. You're covered in Europe, the UK, America, Australia, and New Zealand. Plus, Rojo have support in all of these regions and their own website. It is quite an advantage for those of you who live outside America. Of course, if you live in North America, they do have an American warehouse. They do free shipping to America, and they are doing discounted shipping to Canada as well. All of this means you're going to get your panel a lot faster. There shouldn't be any duties or border issues or anything like that. And if there are issues, you have a local support team. Returns are going to be a lot easier as well. Finally, I need to talk about power and price. Power is good in here, no issues whatsoever. Of course, you can dim the intensity if you want to go down to a lower level. And then we have price. With a discounted price of $1,165 US, this makes it cheaper than a lot of the big players such as Juve, Platinum LED, and Block Blue Light. Only Mito Red Light's Mito Pro Plus range is cheaper than the Rojo 900. For a panel of similar sizes, I mean. Okay, but it's not perfect. I don't think there ever will be a perfect panel. So there are some downsides, so let me explain here. First up, even though this panel is modular capable, it won't link up with the older generation Rojo panels. So if you have a Rojo 1500 and you want to add this one on, you're going to have to individually turn the panels on. You can't use the app on the old panel, and you can't link them up behind the panel. Not a deal breaker, but just something to be wary of. Secondly, there's no remote control included, but remember, there is the application, which is free. When it comes to the touchscreen itself, even though there are a lot of cool things you can do with it, interface-wise, it's not super easy to use. If you just want to turn it on and get started, you literally have to go into custom mode, make sure it's all set up how you want it, then press run and pause. And then to disable, you have to press it a few times to turn it off. There should just be a quick start button. Maybe we'll see that in a future app version. Well, the biggest concern, I guess, is these new smart modes. I know it's also probably one of the biggest upsides, but it is something that personally I still struggle with when it comes to coming up with dosages, best wavelengths, and best pulsing rates. Now, Rojo have been in the business for a couple of years now, and I know they're very passionate about all things red light therapy. However, I've spoken to people that have been in the space longer than I've been alive, and they still can't figure out the optimal dosing protocols or the optimal wavelengths, or whether you should be using pulsing or not. So it does make me question just how accurate and how useful some of these smart modes are going to be. Now, I'm not dismissing them. It's better than nothing, and it's a step in the right direction. However, I just need to say that we don't know if that protocol is going to lead to the results that you're looking for. No one really knows. You just simply have to experiment. A lot of the research is done using targeted devices on a particular spot. Not much research is done on red light therapy with large full body LED arrays. Still though, they're on the right track. We know, for instance, that if you're only treating surface level issues, skin healing, a bit of sunburn, you don't need full power. You don't need the massive power that you're getting from, say, an iron forged chroma, for instance. And you don't need the long treatment times. So you can go into your skin program here and you'll note that the radiance has dropped down, the time is shorter, and it's using wavelengths that we know help with skin healing. So it's great. On the other hand, if you want to treat deep into the tissue, maybe you've fractured a bone or you're trying to recover from a heavy squat session, you want the high irradiance for better penetration. You also want all of those near-infrared light wavelengths running because they penetrate deeper. So again, you can open up the muscle or bone recovery options, and away you go. It's going to do this for you. I guess what I'm saying is these smart modes are great, but they may not be perfect. And it's just something to keep in mind. I'm sure though, it's only going to get better. And as Rojo learn more, they're going to be able to load more features into the app, or you individually can just go out and do your own research and customize it yourself. That's pretty cool. Overall then, should you buy the Rojo Refine 900? Well, if you live in Australia or New Zealand or America or the UK or Europe or Ireland, and you want to buy from a company that has a warehouse in the region, you want to buy a panel using your own local currency, and you want to know that there's a local support team, then yeah, I mean, definitely check it out. Also, if you like the idea of having something done for you, you don't want to think about dosing and what wavelengths you should use and different pulsing rates, you literally just want to press a button and do your session, then yes, this is second to none. There's nothing else like it in the market that I'm aware of. It's very easy. In fact, I think it's going to be really great for first-time users or for people that maybe have a bit of experience with a red light therapy panel, or someone who's a bit of a technophobe, because they can just go in, select the program they need, away you go. Biohack is also going to love this. There is so much customization options here, especially with the pulsing, that those who want to geek out and come up with a really unique protocol are going to be able to do this here with the Rojo panel. But in all honesty, this panel should be on everyone's shortlist when it comes to red light therapy panels. Think about it this way. For under $1,200 shipped to your door, you can get a 300 LED dual chip panel, 12 inches wide, 5 different wavelengths, including 810. It comes with an app and a nice touchscreen control panel. It comes included with a floor boot stand, 3-year warranty, 60-day return period, no EMFs, good sound, all the key features you need, such as hooks, a carry handle, and a decent manual. And you're going to get a panel that's putting out a heap of power, plus you have that full customization option and the smart mode option. I mean, just stop and let all of that sink in. I mean, maybe rewind and listen to it again. Really, it's a really good overall package. I mean, tell me what there's not to like about it. Honestly, I'm curious. Now, I'm not saying this is the best or anything like that. By the time this video review goes out, I would have filmed and uploaded my 2024 wall panel comparison series. And in that video, I should be able to find which panel is the best on the market. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is in the top 5, maybe even the top 3. And I know personally, it ticks a lot of the boxes for my own interests. But like I always do in these videos, it's always important to shop around and look at all options. So what are some other options? Well, if you are in New Zealand or Australia, you have to check out the Block Blue Light Mega. Similar size, similar features, touchscreen, but the Block Blue Light Mega is going to put out a bit more power. It is a bit more expensive and it doesn't have those smart modes. Though, of course, no other panel has those smart modes. Another option is the Platinum LED Biomax 900. Now, the Biomax 900 is also putting out more power than this, has the nice touchscreen control panel, and their panel actually has 7 wavelengths. You're getting the 5 from this panel, plus some blue light, plus some 1060 nanometer near-infrared light, which is quite attractive. Another option is Mito Red Light. Their Pro Plus panel is actually cheaper than this panel, but it's lacking in a lot of features if you do a direct head-to-head comparison, and it doesn't have any 810 nanometer light. If you want 810 nanometer light and you want to go with Mito Red Light, then you can check out their Adapt range. The downside with their Adapt range is that it's a narrower panel. However, Mito Red Light do also have an application that allows you to customize and tweak how much power is going to various wavelengths, though not at a level that we've seen here in the Rojo panel. If all of this is confusing, leave a comment below, or like I said, check out my 2024 body panel comparison video. It's right up here.